Hello, two viewers. How are you? Just going to let a few more people join and then I'll get started. Talking about love and dating tonight. And if you know me, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to actually answer questions that I haven't gotten to before. I've written them down because I want to make sure I answer them. Sometimes you guys bombard me with so many questions here that I miss some important things. So I've got my list and I'm going to be covering it tonight. And for those of you who don't know me, I'll just do a little backstory on who I am. Gina Hendrix. I've been a matchmaker in Los Angeles, and actually I have clients all around the world since 2008. I work mainly with very high level men. It's men who hire me, and I work with billionaires, celebrities. Not just billionaires and celebrities though. I work with multimillionaires, successful men of all types, but usually good guys. Most always good guys. That's very important to me. I'm very, very picky about the guys I work with. If I don't like them, if I don't think women are going to like them, I won't work with them, right? So I have two branches of my business, right? Matchmaking is what I've been doing all this time since 2008. But then kind of just on the side for fun, I've been doing coaching. And so now it's official. And now I have another offshoot of the business, which is I do coaching for the women. So I do matchmaking for the men. It's the men who hire me. And then I help the women by sharing all the intel I've learned from these guys that they want to meet and date. And I share it with my ladies. And then I love talking about dating apps because I've had my own dating app and I just love talking about the dating apps and how to do dating better. Okay. So, so we're going to get into it tonight. So the way it works, I'm going to take some of these. I'm going to answer some of these questions first that I hadn't gotten to in the past. And then I'll take questions from you guys. And that's how we do it. You just tell me your name, tell me your question, tell me your name, tell me your question. And I'll hang out here for a bit. I'll hang out here for a while with you guys tonight. As long as you have questions, I'm here to give you some answers. So, okay. So let's see here. And then I'm going to ask you guys some questions tonight too. Because all this talk about the high value man, I want to know because I feel like that's like a sliding scale. And I feel like what a high value man is to one woman might be something different to another woman. So this term, high value man, I want you ladies to tell me in the comments, what to you is a high value man. And men, I want you guys that are here joining me tonight to tell me in the comments, what to you is a high value woman. I want to talk about this tonight because I just feel like it's a gray area. All right. So I'm going to get to one of these first questions that I didn't answer from before. This is a great question. And to be honest, I don't even know if I have an answer for it, but it's a question. Okay. So, Gina, they sent it through my community. So if you don't know, I have a community phone number. It's free right now. So you better join. And people can send me their questions. And sometimes I even just answer them right away. And sometimes I answer them here. But the community number is, I'm going to try to do it from memory, is 310-610, what is it? 1930. You know what? Haley's here too, my admin. She'll put it in the comments. I just don't have it up here. But my Koji link, if you click the Koji link in the bio, everything's there anyway. And I'm doing free love strategy calls with men right now too. So men, if you're here and you want to get me on a call and talk to me and pick my brain about your love life, better take advantage of it now. Click the Koji link because I won't be doing this forever. All right. So here's the question that I don't know if I even have the answer to. Maybe you guys do. Is there a way to know if you meet a guy and he's divorced? Is there a way to know if he cheated on his wife and that was the reason they got divorced? So that was the question I got on my community thing. And the answer is I don't think unless you're going to take next steps to look up his ex-wife and ask her, which is so inappropriate, and then would just put you in the kind of cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs category. I really don't think that there's any way for sure that you would know because you can't ask him. You can ask him, but probably you're not going to get an honest answer. You know what I mean? Who's going to come clean about that? Nobody. So yeah, I mean, it's an interesting question. I love you guys throwing me curveballs. And that one, I have to say, I just don't think there's a way to know unless you're going to track down, do a little stalker moves. And if you have to resort to that, I'd say just go meet another dude. All right. Okay. Let's see here. What's another? Oh, this is a really good one. Okay. Somebody asked me, do you advise adult actor? And this is a question. I don't even know if I know the answer to this one either. Why am I doing this to myself? Do you advise that adult actresses reveal their identity or disclose at a later date? I was like, whoa, that's such a good question. And if you like what I'm doing, give me the hearts, the flowers, the lucky clovers, and the rainbow, whatever it is. And like and share this. And follow me. Okay, so do I advise that adult actresses reveal their identity or disclose at a later date? Man, that's a tough one. I have known quite a few adult actresses in my day. A lot of times men will just Google ladies anyway, right? People Google each other. So I would say if your name is Googleable and he's going to find out that way, it's better to get ahead of it. But boy, is this tough, because here's the deal. If you tell him up front, then is he going to be dating you for the right reasons? And then if you don't tell him till later on, is he going to get mad because he feels like he was duped in some way? So this is tricky. I would almost want to ask you some more questions, because I'm sure women in the adult industry wouldn't be able to answer this question better than I could. It's a really, really interesting question. I'd say when it comes to which takes me to another question about health. Somebody says when to disclose health issues. And I get that question a lot. And I say that if it's something nobody's going to notice at first glance, I don't think it's necessarily anybody's business until they've earned the right to know. Being an adult actress is a little different. It's a little different because it's just a little different. What can I say? Because that is such a specific profession that it's not like, is somebody cool if I have Lyme disease, or is somebody cool if I have a toxic relationship with my mother. It's if somebody's going to date somebody who's in the adult industry, they're going to have to be on board with accepting a lot of things that are outside most people's comfort zones. So that's a dicey one. All right, so I'm going to dive into, I do want to say one other thing that I thought of while looking at these questions tonight, because another woman wrote to me and she said that she went on a date with a man and he was asking her about her health. Like, so how's your health? They're both in their 60s. So how's your health? And she goes on to tell me that he looked anorexic. And then he goes on to tell her that his wife passed away from anorexia. So, I think people ask you questions that somehow it reveals something about them. So, if a man says, do you have a good career? Usually, the only man I would think mostly that's going to ask if you have a good career is a man who also has a good career and wants to find out if you're at his level. Rarely, if he's a total broken down loser, is he going to ask if you have a good career? Although maybe, because maybe he's like, what's in it for me? How can I take advantage of the situation? But I find that, like, same thing, like with a guy. So if you meet a guy, because a lot of you people ask me about real life. In real life, I was thinking about this as I was sleeping last night. And, a lot of women want to meet men in real life. I think one thing to remember is if you want to meet a man in real life, if he does not ask you if you're single when you meet him, there's a reason. Because a single person will ask another person if they're single. All right? Because you want to know. But if you're not single, why would you touch that question with a 10-foot pole, right? So I think questions we ask each other are very revealing of us. And I think if you are going to meet somebody in real life, women, if you want to meet dudes in real life, or even if he approaches you, don't assume he's single. Do not assume he's single. I think you should always say, oh, really? Well, what's a charming man like you doing single? You don't even have to say single. What do they say the term is? Is there any woman out there? And you could say it in a funny kind of playful way, flirty, playful way, because you can get away with anything if you say it like that. But you could say, so I'm just curious, charming guy like you, is there any woman out there that maybe thinks she's in a relationship with you? That's like kind of the way they say it. It's kind of fun, playful. And I think you need to ask the questions. And so if he's not asking you, you need to ask him. All right. So I'm going to dive into the questions right now. Let's do this. Yes. Haley is saying, be sure to send likes and roses. And Haley, did you put my community phone number in the comment threads, please? So that people can join my community number while it's free. Okay, so I love it when you guys tell me your name, tell me your questions. And keep the hearts and rainbows coming. Follow me, like me, share me, whatever you do. Do it. Okay, I am not, okay, let's do this. Is there anyone who thinks they're with you? I think that's vague. I think you need to be specific. Is there anybody that thinks that they're in a relationship with you? I think that's more the way you phrase that thing. Okay, senior dating. Their adult children control daddy's purse strings is a real problem. Yeah, that's true. There are some adult children out there that do try to micromanage the lives of their senior parents. There's nothing you can do about that. I would say try to find somebody else, even though I know when you're seniors, it's even harder to find somebody amazing and healthy and, viable and vim and vigor. But, the kids can just cause so much damage and so much toxic energy, and nobody needs that. I believe the same thing about lawsuits. People get this is like not dating, but when I hear people get caught up in these lawsuits and they're suing each other and they're going on, it's like, why would you want to stay in that toxic? It's so toxic. It's toxic energy. There's nothing good that comes of that stuff. All right. So if anything feels toxic when you're dating somebody and there's things you can't do about it, like you can't do anything about their shitty kids or their crazy ex who's in the picture, get out while you can. All right. Why would you want to buy into all that? All right. I was married twice. Do I have to disclose this right away? It's embarrassing. First of all, I don't think that's embarrassing. And I think you do not have to disclose it right away. I don't think you have to disclose it right away. I'm sure it'll come up and I'm sure people are going to ask, but let me tell you something. People judge you less by being married 2-3 times than they do if you'd never been married at all. So they don't count your bad decisions against you. They only count it against you if you've not married any loser ever in the world. So don't feel so bad, all right? Okay, all right, here we go. Let's see. So tell me your name, tell me your question. Tell me your name, tell me your question. All right, and I will stick around as long as you guys got questions. I also, you know what I wanted to talk about too? I saw something while I'm waiting on questions. I saw something today about Matthew Perry. He's got this new memoir that's coming out. I do not know Matthew Perry. I'll make that very clear. But he says, that he finally is in a healthy place. He's sober and all these things. But he said a couple important things that I do talk about a lot. Well, one that I talk about a lot. Successful men do want a woman who is also successful. Or like in his case, he went on to say like he was like so petrified that women wanted him for his money that, he ended a lot of relationships. Now he's saying he's in such a good place, but here's the catch. I'm going to give you the catch in a minute that I see as a matchmaker. So he said that, he's in a great place now, but he wants a woman who has, as much, he didn't say as much money as him because he's got a lot of money, that friend's money. But he wants somebody who has their own money and, oh, thanks for my gift. But he said that now he wants to, meet the right woman to have kids, to start a family with. Okay, so here's what I take away from this. This is why it's going to be a challenge for him because he's 53. And if he wants to have kids, I know these men, and he's looking, if I had a conversation with him, I'm sure he would say he wants women in their 30s, early 30s, I'm sure. 30s, he might even say younger, but, I don't like all that. But 30s, he's going to say 30s to 34, probably. And so if he wants a woman 30 to 34 who has a lot of money, as much money, now the pool for him is so narrow. A younger girl with that kind of money, you have to sort of say, well, why would she want him in a way? You know what I mean? Because if she's young and she's that wealthy, she don't need his money. So I'm just saying that's a challenging search. That's a challenging search for him. But I do wish him the best. Robert Kraft got married, 81, to a 47-year-old doctor. All right. So again, these guys want to marry women who are successful and smart and have it going on. And I keep saying this over and over. And then there's those loser guys out there who want to tell you different because they don't know what they're talking about. But I do. All right. So don't ever tell me that, men are intimidated. The only men that are intimidated are men that don't have their lives together or don't have it going on. All right. I'm taking some questions now off the soapbox. How long does it typically take to find a match on the dating apps? Well, that is, he knows 20 years is what he wants. Yeah, 20 years is what he wants. Exactly. How long does it typically take to find a match on the dating apps? That's the thing. You have to go in and expect it to be a long game. That's the best way to manage your expectations. Because if you get on the apps and you're thinking like, oh, I'm just going to go on, I'm going to meet somebody amazing, this is where you get disappointed. And you go, I hate those dating apps. But if you go on, and I just did a video I posted this week about that, where if you go on and you sort of take it more with a grain of salt and you manage your expectations. I mean, my friend right now, Keisha, who I've talked about before, and sometimes she's on these lives in the threads here, but she's been on and off the dating apps for years. She's dated some great guys. Right now, she is dating a man and it's going very well. They've introduced kids and and he is a billionaire and she met him on Bumble. Okay. But she's been on the dating apps for years. Okay. So sometimes it can be a very long game because life is all about timing. Timing is everything. All right. So, and you can't predict that. All right. So, okay. More questions. What to do if a partner snores? Earplugs? How about earplugs? All right. My dad just said, I think we should get married at 80 because my parents have been married 52 years. That's funny. He can find it, but harder due to age. Yeah. I Googled him. Yes. So, right. So Robert Kraft, that's what I was saying. Robert Kraft is a billionaire. But now here's the thing. Do you think that girl who's 47 would have, and she's a doctor in New York, but she would have never married an 81-year-old man if he wasn't a billionaire. And I was talking to another girl today who had booked a love consultation with me, or maybe she did a premium profile. I'm not sure. But anyway, we were chatting about this very subject. And, the thing is, it's not even about the money. And I know a lot of you are going to be like, sure, Gina, whatever. But it's not about the money. You know what it's about? The lifestyle. It's about the lifestyle. Like I knew a woman that dated Al Pacino for like 7 years. And she said the hardest reason, and listen, Al Pacino has movie money, but that's not like billionaire money. That's not like I own an NFL team money or anything like that. But she said the hardest part was moving on was because he had such a great lifestyle. And I do find it's not necessarily about the money, even with the billionaires. It's about the lifestyle. They do fun things. Why do people ask you to join live? Like, I don't understand that. I will never understand that. When you don't know them at all. Here, come on my live. I don't know. Anyway, so I think it's just more about the like they go to the coolest things. They get, they just get treated like royalty. It's just a special experience, whether you're dating a movie star or whether you're dating a billionaire. And it's not, I don't think about the dollar signs because, I know women that, they would date a C-level actor and he doesn't really have much money, but he gets access to like fun, interesting events. So anyway, that's what I have to say about that. All right. How can I stop being bothered about it? Wait. Okay. Haley, you have a good question. Thank you, Haley. His ex is a gorgeous model. How can I stop being bothered about it? I could see how this would be annoying, but you have to remind yourself, he's not with her. And you know what? At the end of the day, the proof is in the pudding. And what I mean by that is that men cheat on beautiful women all the time. So looks really mean nothing once you're in a relationship. Now, listen, looks do mean something initially when we're initially attracted. But as we get to know people, people can become more attractive or less attractive. I find, I've dated all kinds of guys in my life, and I find that after a while, depending how they are, like they're just faceless after a while. And all you see is their personality and how they treat you. And you know what I mean? You don't even see that they're cute anymore, or you don't even see that they're ugly anymore. You just see how they're treating you. And so I wouldn't worry that his ex was gorgeous. that was how she attracted him, like how she got him on the hook. But obviously the looks didn't keep him, and he's with you now. So that's the important thing to focus on. All right. Let's see here. Date women with have younger. That question doesn't make sense if it's a question. There's a reason why actors date other actors, and one of the reasons would be similar bank balance. No, actually, that would not necessarily be the only reason. One of the only reasons, well, it's one of the reasons, sure. But you know what the other reason is? A lot of times when they're very, very famous, they're stuck in these certain social circles, and they don't get access to the great woman who's a marriage family therapist that's down in Redondo Beach, or they don't get access to the woman who's beautiful litigation attorney who lives in Santa Clarita, or off the grid from the circles they run in. You know what I mean? So we tend to hook up with people who are in our surround. That's why doctors marry each other, and doctors aren't marrying each other because they have the same, income level. They're dating them because that's just the access they have. It's the easy access they have. Okay. I'm just reminding you a couple things. One is you can join my community. It's a text thing with me, and the link is above in the Koji. Also, I'm doing free love strategy calls with men right now. I'm not going to be offering this forever, but right now you can get me on a call just for men only, because a lot of these guys need help, and I need to give you more love, and that's what I'm doing for you guys. The link is in the Koji bio above, so you can book a free love strategy call. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just trying to get to know you and see how I can help you. And I just did one this week with this guy, and I just was looking at ladies he's swiping on the apps, and we talked about women, and I told him how to improve his photos, and and we walked away. Okay, so yeah, I'm not here to sell you and do a song and dance. So, but I'm fascinated by everybody's plight when it comes to dating. And if I can help you, I will. And if I can't, I won't. But you can book a free love strategy call right now in the Koji link. That is for men only, ladies, because I have so many other ways I'm already helping you ladies. All right. Jody. Hey, Jody. Does it look bad to sit at a bar restaurant alone as a woman? No, not unless you're going, dressed like a hooker, sex worker. No, but oh my God, that's so cute. That heart thing is adorable. Thank you. Sorry, I got distracted by my lovely little thing I got. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I go out alone quite a bit. I know I had a conversation with another woman who said that. I had another, we go out alone. It's totally fine. I mean, I think that there's probably more men that are likely to strike up a conversation with you when you are by yourself, because here's the deal. I know for me, even when I'm out, let's say I'm out at an event, or even if I'm out at a restaurant and I see a girl or a woman, and I'm like, oh, she's perfect for the client, but she's with 2 other girlfriends, and I'm not interested in them, for my database or for my guys. So then it's awkward for me to go approach them and just target the one woman. And men feel the exact same way, So if you go out by yourself, you have the opportunity to meet more men, because you don't have a team of ladies with you that they have to figure out, I don't want to insult her and I don't want to slight her, So no, there's nothing wrong with it. I think, you want to dress cute, sexy, however you want to dress, and not too overt, because I think if you dress too overt, you'll feel more self-conscious. You know what I mean? You'll be sitting there going, oh my God, do they think I'm a sex worker? Oh my God, do they, and if you think it, then that's what people are going to read. They're going to pick up on that energy that you're feeling. So I would say go out by yourself, but just dress as you feel comfortable and sexy and amazing, and go for it, because you're going to meet more people when you're by yourself. Thank you. I love my shirt too. It's my comfy little denim shirt. All right. Is it normal to go out alone for at least 80 years for women in urban areas? Hold on. Is it normal to go out alone for at least 80 years? Oh, it is normal. Oh, okay. That's not even a question. All right, you guys. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. Yes, it would make other girlfriends sad. It would. Should I bother with long distance? That's a great question. I think, and I get this question a lot, actually. And I think the deal with long distance dating is somebody has to be willing to relocate. So you can't try to do long distance dating with no plan to ever relocate or no ability to relocate. So that's first and foremost. So first and foremost, you got to make sure that one of you is willing to relocate if it gets serious and has the ability to relocate if it gets serious. But if you've got kids in a city where you live with an ex and they've got kids in a city where they live with an ex and you guys are sharing I don't know who's moving. That would be complicated. But if you're more footloose and fancy free and then somebody's willing to make the effort, it's going to take more effort. It's going to take more work, but sure, if especially if you live in areas where nobody's eligible around, you have to think outside the box and get a little creative. All right. Yes, please send roses and likes. Haley's reminding me to remind you guys, send roses and likes and make sure you share and like and follow me if you like my stuff. Any good dating apps, I'm going to assume, for 50 to 60-year-olds. I talk about this a lot. I really don't think there's any difference for 50-year-olds or 60-year-olds. I really don't. You know, when you start getting a lot of followers here on good old TikTok, you get people approaching you to like do partnerships and sponsorships and all these things, whatever it is. And I've gotten approached so many times, too many times, maybe not so many, but one or two is enough, where they're like, oh, Gina, would you do a post or a thing for, what is it, like older people dating? And I was like, yeah, no. And then another one was like, Gina, would you do a post for older women and younger men dating.com or whatever it was? I was like, and no. I have some standards, thank you, and nothing with the word older in it am I going to be associated with. So I think, honestly, that no matter how old you are, and I have my oldest lady right now in my group coaching program is 75. Shout out to Judy. I don't know if she's on here tonight or not, but she is, she's on the date. She's on Bumble because that's where, regardless of age, you have to look at it like a numbers game, and you want to go where the most people are. And also, I think more people that are doing like Bumble or Hinge, they're going to be more up on the latest and greatest things, right? They're going to be up on the latest restaurants. They're going to be up on the latest trends in general, and they're going to be more current and with it. So anybody that's on like old people meets, just going to be old people, boring ass people. So I'd say just go where everybody is. And it may not be tons of 75-year-olds, and it may not be tons of 65-year-olds, although I do see quite a few. You're better off. You're better off with fewer, more interesting people than going to a big pool with just low-end gross people. All right. Hey, Terry, I just want to thank you for all the great advice. Aw, thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Follow, share. Follow, share. All right. Let's see here. Judy inspires. Yep. Judy's killing it, kicking ass. And I want to tell you something else, you guys. Speaking of Judy, and then I have Donna, who's 65. I have some older ladies in my coaching stuff. And here's another tip for your profile photos. Okay. So, they needed new photos. I kept telling Judy, round up your kids, Judy, round up your kids. But, I don't know. I'm sure the kids were busy. So she needed new photos, okay? Here's what she did. And a lot of my ladies are doing it. And it's working out great. They're just going on Amazon and they're getting a tripod with a little clicker. And I advise going outside because I like the light outside better. And I just feel like an outside environment is just more fun and interesting than inside your house. So go outside with your tripod. And here's another tip for you. One of the other ladies in my group, she said, you know what I'm doing? And her photos are amazing. And she said, what I do is I don't shoot it as photos. I shoot it as a video. So she said, I to my clicker, and you got to make sure. So the one thing I've noticed, you don't want to hold your clicker in your pictures like this. You don't want to be obvious. So put your clicker down to your side, be covert about your clicker, and then click. She said, I do it as a video, Gina, and I shoot the video. And this is how I advise too. You want to move around, and you don't want to be like this, stiff posing. No. You want to be like as if you're at a party or you're talking to people or, hey, hi, and move around and change expressions and be fun and playful and do a video of this and then go back and then go through and pick the stills that you want to use. And you'll have some winning profile photos if you do that. All right. What are my thoughts on speed dating? Well, I have actually, when I first started my matchmaking business, I had plenty of speed dating events. I held speed dating events. I think that, my big takeaway was that just, it feels like high school all over again. I found that only the pretty people always picked each other. The most beautiful people always picked each other. The average people, rarely picked each other, but always picked the beautiful people. And the unattractive people never picked each other, and mostly always were shooting out of their league for, again, everybody goes after the most beautiful people. And that's how I found speed dating to be in my experience when I was holding my events. Okay, is it okay to tell a guy you like him if he hasn't said it yet in real life? Well, have you gone on dates with him, or like, what is he like? I mean, how do you know him? Is he like your neighbor? Hey, I like you. That might be awkward. Like, you have to give me some context here. Outside is good lighting. I'm going to tell you another thing about good lighting, folks. You never want, and even when I do Zoom calls with like a lot of you ladies, when you do the premium profiles with me, I do these follow-up Zoom calls. Half the time I end up teaching you guys tech so that you can get your act together here. But beside that, your lighting is a lot of times on the side and it makes you dark, and your lighting's in the back, your window's across and it's in the back and you're dark. And you've got to be facing the light. So whether you're outside, you've got to be facing the light. Whether you're doing a Zoom, you got to be facing the light. I'm facing the light right here, So the light is your friend. Now, the catch to that is I have seen women go out in the light and they're doing it at such a bright time of day where it's too bright and then they're squinting. So you don't want to do that. But let's say you are in bright light. Okay, here's how you do it. And this is a trick from, when back in my styling days, folks. So you can close your eyes and then count to 3. 1, 2, 3, click the photo, right? And then you're not going to squint. If you stand there and try to click, you're going to, but if you just go 1, 2, 3, click, hi, boom, catch you while you can open your eyes. So that's another trick for you. Okay, what else I got going on here for questions? Let's see. Melody, hey Melody. Somebody's commenting to Melody. You guys have these conversations with each other in the thread here, and it really confuses me. All right, so does somebody have a question for me? You guys are talking. Met a guy online, got COVID on my birthday, couldn't see him in person. He didn't send me flowers and traveled while acting so interested. Well, proof's in the pudding, isn't it? I mean, I consider it a blessing when, here's what you guys get so confused about, I think you get confused by the words, and the words mean nothing. It's the actions. And also when we go out on dates, or even when we're first interacting with people, we want to just diagnose them so quickly. We want to be able to slap a label on them. And one of the big things I've learned from matchmaking is there's no way you're going to know or be able to diagnose what somebody is or isn't by barely interacting with them. People are so complicated and layered, it takes several interactions before people are really going to show you who they are. And that is how you really find out who somebody is, by giving them the room to let them show you who they are. All right? And he showed you who he was. His words meant nothing. Doesn't surprise me. Yes. Okay. So let's see here. Yeah. All right. Can I refer a man to be your client? Oh, yes, you can refer. Listen, I run my business on referrals. I've been very under the radar, and I give hefty referral fees. So if anybody wants to send a client my way, a prospective client, I should say, because I am picky who I work with. But if you want to connect me with like somebody that that would be an amazing client, yes, I give a very, very generous referral fee. All right. Because this is how my business runs. I like when somebody can vouch for somebody. When people show up and they're total strangers and want to be a client, it makes me a little more leery, but I spend some time getting to know them. But if somebody can vouch for somebody, oh my gosh, that speeds them to the front of the line, and then you'll get a referral for that. So yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. Any other questions? You're 36, Diana, and you want to find a guy your age, but they're not interested. Older, have kids already, and don't want. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about this, all right? and I'm glad you brought it up. It's not to say that men around your age are not interested, okay? But the truth is, and it sucks, I hate it, but if you're in a place where you still want to have kids and you're late 30s, 35 to early 40s, and you want to have kids, and these guys are right around your same age, they know they have a lot of time. They know they have a lot of time. And so they'll tell me they usually don't want to date women around that age because they don't want to rush. So yeah, it does make it more complicated, but it's not impossible. But I would encourage you to go older, because the guys that are going to be older, who hopefully haven't had kids yet, are going to be more motivated to be on the same timeline you are. Whereas guys around your own age, they're not in a rush. They don't have to rush, but they'll date you. They'll date you, and they'll waste those years you have that you should be spending on being more more thoughtful about who, and strategic about who you're dating. So it always does worry me, just because, for so many years and so many guys telling me this stuff behind the scenes, that I just wouldn't, if I was a woman, wanting kids and wanting to start, I would not waste time on guys right around my age. I just wouldn't, because I know how they are. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying it's a long shot. And if I didn't have a lot of time to fool around, I would not waste time on a long shot. That's my opinion. Dating apps are so tiring. I get too many, and I don't want to sort based only on looks. Right. So I've done a lot of videos about the dating apps. And the way to do it is you also have to be very strategic who you swipe on. You have to make sure. We get caught up in wanting to attract everybody, thinking we're a kid in the candy store, But if you use it properly, as a matchmaker would, as I would suggest, which is you go on and you're very discerning about who you're even cracking the door open to. On Hinge, I say you only pay attention to men who have actually made a comment on your, photo. These likes and hearts, they mean nothing. Likes mean nothing. Except here, and I'll take more likes, by the way. Likes, hearts, rainbows, flowers, share, follow, all of that jazz. Thank you very much. But on the apps, it means nothing. So here it does, and I appreciate the love. Thank you. So you got to be thoughtful. And then on Bumble, you also have to be thoughtful on who you're swiping on, but then only talk to those guys who extend the time. And if it's one out of a week, who cares? I'd rather have one that is a hot lead, a qualified lead who's put in a little effort, than 20 who are just, wanking off, swiping on ladies, and it doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? So be more thoughtful about it, and you'll have a better experience for sure. But it is a great place. Everybody's on the apps. You should be on the apps. I get comments, and then we match, and they don't. Now, that is surprising to me. If you're telling me that that's once in a while, that's different. If you're telling me it's all the time, I'd be curious to know what that's about. Because usually if they're going to string a few words together, they're more interested in you. But listen, here's the deal. Even if you're only focusing on those people who've made comments and they fall flat, I'd rather you still do that, because it's a better way to pre-qualify than open the door to the men who couldn't even string 3 words together for you. You know what I mean? What kind of effort is that? Nothing. They say, what's up? Well, then you say unmatch, and you just keep moving forward. Do you know what I mean? It is a numbers game. There is no getting around that. On the dating app, it is absolutely a numbers game. But you don't have to let every loser in the door, okay? Nor should you, because that's only going to make matters worse. Run it like a numbers game, but run it like you're pre-qualifying quickly through the numbers, so that then you have like 5 qualified leads. And okay, if 5 qualified leads don't pan out, go back to it. At least you don't have 30 in the queue you got to get through. You know what I'm saying? Yes, that's perfect. Don't respond with minimal effort. Third date tips. Olivia, third date tips. Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I need more of a specific question. You're the woman, right? So then Are you asking about outfits? Are you asking about conversation? I don't know. Be a little more specific. All right. Okay. How to deal. Mika. Hey, Mika. Mika's always here. I was wondering where you were, Mika. All right. How to deal with creepy older guy at bar who invades your space despite you backing up many times. Well, I'd say if it comes to that, then you have to use your words and say, hey, you know what? You're kind of creeping me out. Can you give me some space? You say it. I mean, if somebody's ignoring your subtle boundaries, subtle's out the window, baby. You got to just be very clear. Like, hey, you know, you're making me uncomfortable and you're invading my space. Can you back it up a little bit? You know, something like that. Maybe you don't use the word creepy, but you just say, you know, listen, you know, I need some space. And you gesture. Are 60-year-olds looking for mature 57 female fun but responsible? No. Yeah. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Even my movie star guy that I'm working with, he's in his 60s and he's tall and very sexy and good looking. And he is totally open to dating women 60, close to, he's not worried about the age. He's worried about how she looks for the age. So that's really what it comes down to. It's not the number. It's how you look for the number. Okay? That's what it comes down to. Susie, I'm 59, not a model thin, but athletic. How much older should I look for in a man in the apps? 59? I would say 59. Oh, I would say I would put my age parameters from, you know, I wouldn't go too young. Because that's not very realistic. Again, I don't know about their intentions. I would say probably 59. I would say 57 at the youngest end to 60. I would say 68 maybe, and hoping that you're going to find like the young looking guys that are in their 60s, you know what I mean? And there are some, again, it's not tons, but there are. I mean, when I'm doing my swipe sessions with my ladies, we're seeing tons of like hot older men. And again, not all the time. We'll go on some nights and it's like slim pickings. And we'll go on other nights and it's like, whoa. I will say Chicago has so many eligible, good looking, successful men because we do travel mode sometimes and do man shopping. And we're like, oh my God. Whereas in Florida, slim pickings. But you pop that app over, open it up in Chicago, and it's like a whole different world. So I'd say open up your parameters and look around. Gina, you're so right about pre-qualifying. Totally changed my dating life. Oh, thank you. In New York. Thank you. That's so nice. Yes, it's all about pre-qualifying correctly. Thank you. I appreciate the compliments. Share, like, hearts, flowers, rainbows, whatever you can give me here is much appreciated. Yeah, life is superficial. Gina doesn't make the rules. She's just sort of giving you the scoop on it. Third date outfit tips and conversation topics. I am 24. Okay, got it. So I think you skew your, thank you for the love. You skew your outfits. This is not real wine, by the way. This is my fake wine that I drink, and I love it. The brand is called Free, F-R-E, and they pull the alcohol out. So, and the white wine's delicious, the red wine, nobody's paying me to say it, although I wish they were. This way you can do day drinking guilt-free, totally guilt-free. Okay, so I'm going to give you some advice, kiddo. I would say it depends on where he's taking you, right? Is it a daytime date? Is it a dinner date? If it's dinner date, you can, by third date in, you can ramp it up with a little more sexiness, you know. I would say I'd say even if it's a lunch date, day date, or evening date, you can still ramp it up with the sexiness. But again, you want to dress appropriately for wherever it is you're going. Conversations, I would say by this point, third date in, you really want to find, hopefully you know if you guys have things in common. Hopefully he's asking you thoughtful, interesting questions about you, not just talking about himself. And you want to ask him thoughtful questions about him. You want to know, you want to make sure that he is looking for a real relationship. You want to know, you guys are both young, but, certainly is he looking to just date around? Is he looking for a real relationship? Is he in a good place career-wise? These are the questions you want to know. And then beyond that, you want to just be in the moment, right? And so whatever you're doing on your date, you want to be present and talking about whatever's relevant, like something you saw funny on TV or something you just read about in the paper, just don't be so in your head, be in the moment and be present, and just whatever comes into your mind that like evolves through being in the moment. All right. How's that sound? Thoughts on nails. What color, polish, long or short? These are good questions. I am not going to say I have a preference on that necessarily. I mean, I do think nude is so good because it's so versatile. But some of you ladies are getting crazy with your nails, and I love it. And some guys love it too. I think different guys, if he's more of a like flamboyant guy, he's probably going to like more flamboyant nails. If he's more like a classic guy with classic style, he's probably going to like more classic nails. I mean, nude, the good thing about nude is it goes with any outfit. Those long daggers, I love them. They're so cool to look at. But I'm actually not 100% sure how guys feel about it. That's one of the things I've never, ever, ever discussed with my guys. But you know what? I'm going to ask them. And then maybe I'll do a TikTok about it. Also reminding you guys, there's a lot of good stuff in my Koji bio above. Everything from the free strategy call that I'm offering for men right now. You can get me on the phone, pick my brain about your love life, and book love consultations with me if you're a woman, because I'm not doing the free dating love strategies for women, because I offer you ladies a lot of other ways I'm already helping you, but I want to really be able to help the men a bit more. And especially if you guys want the men profile makeovers, profile assessments, I'd love to work with some more guys right now and help them ramp up their dating stuff, because so many of you guys need the help. So use that Koji link above to find whatever you need from me and connect with me. And then like, share, show me the love, whatever. Okay, let's see here. Mika always gets into these conversations with people here. Mika, you are getting in deep here in the weeds, answering questions for people. I love it. Okay, here's another question. He wants me to meet his kids, but I think it's too soon. How can I tell him? By telling him. I think so many of you guys are just afraid to say things. But clear communication is like the key to every good relationship. So if you think it's too soon, because I find with men are way more comfortable introducing ladies quickly to their kids than women are. And I guess women, we're just more maternal like that and protective of our children. But men are like, hi, nice to meet you. You want to meet my child? And sometimes, I don't know. I don't really like that. I don't think their ex-wife would like that very much. So I think I would just say, hey, you know what? I'd love to meet your kids at some point, but I want to get to know you a little better soon first, And he'll just have to be cool with that. But I think anytime you're annoyed with somebody, you're bothered by somebody, you feel like somebody has overstepped their bounds or their boundaries, your boundaries, whether they're coming in too close at the bar or whether they, want to introduce, you just got to tell them how you feel. You can tell them in a nice, respectful way, but you need to tell them, because otherwise, how are they going to know? Okay. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. That's the way I like it. No, I don't believe that men think it's goth. I have never heard a man tell me, Gina, she was wearing black in it, unless you're like goth and you're goth. But I mean, a little sexy black dress is like the classic look. You can never go wrong with that. It's slimming. It's a classic, timeless look. You can never go wrong with black. I love black. If I didn't have a house full of animals, I'd be wearing a lot more black. Is it a red flag if he takes a long time to text back? I would say if it's all the time, yeah. But I mean, people get busy. So if you send him a text and this is just one particular incident where he hasn't gotten back that quickly, I don't think that's a red flag. But if it's like constant, then that also makes me think maybe you're initiating the text. Because if he's initiating the text and you respond, and then he doesn't respond for a long time, then... And this is a one-off thing where then maybe he just put his phone down when he texted you and went to the bathroom or God knows what, or took his dog outside and the postman came up or whatever. So if it's a one-off incident, no big deal. But if it's all the time, that would be very strange to me and very annoying as well. All right. Tell me your name. Tell me your questions. Jade. Hey, Jade. What are topics to avoid on a first date? I think some topics to avoid on a first date. I mean, you don't want to talk about any drama in your life, and you don't want to crack the door open to any potential drama. I mean, I don't think you need to know, like, so let's see, God, I wouldn't touch, I think politics, normally we'd say don't touch politics, but I actually think politics is a really great way to pre-qualify these days because people feel so strongly about politics that sometimes it's better to know. We used to live in a world where it wasn't so polarizing, but if it's a topic that, you know what I'm going to say after thinking about it more? I'm going to say I wouldn't necessarily avoid asking questions that you want answered, because then that's going to show, are we compatible or not? If I ask you, if we're on a date and I ask you, oh, so how long have you owned your home? Because I own my home. I'm not adding that part to the sentence. I'm just, my motivation behind my question in my mind is I own a home. I want to know if this guy owns a home. I want to know if he's at my level. I want to know if we're on the same page, because I don't want to date a renter. I'm just making up a scenario here. All right. So if I asked you, do you own a home? And for some reason that was triggering to you and you got insulted by it, we're not a match. So that's fine. We're not a match. Just like when that guy asked that woman, how do you take care of your health? And she thought that was kind of weird. If that's his preoccupation, then you're not a match, So I don't know. I don't know if I would say I would be afraid to ask a question, because if it triggers somebody to the point where it's going to make them spin out, then that's good. You pre-qualified, Like politics, if it makes them spin out and lose their head, good. Religion, if it may, so don't be afraid to ask the questions. I don't know. That's probably a bold thing to say, but as a matchmaker, I think it's really, really important to pre-qualify correctly and to only spend time with the people that are aligned with you in every way, right? So got to ask questions, otherwise you're never going to know. All right, Millie, I joined Bumble and have 600 likes. I can't view unless, okay, I'm going to tell you something right now, Millie. No, I don't give a shit about the likes. That is the way the app tricks you into giving them money. Likes do not matter. Likes do not matter. So ignore that. Do not just get on the app. And at the bottom of Bumble, there's those little lines, okay? You tap those lines and then men come up. And if you're a guy, women come up. Or if you're gay, you know how it works. Anyway, you tap the lines and then your prospective matches come up. You say yes, you say no. You say yes, you say no. That's all you need to be focused on, and that is free, okay? All right, moving on. Also, just reminding you guys, I'm doing free love strategy calls for men right now. I'm offering it for a limited time. Click the link above in the Koji bio. And also, if you know any guys, ladies, that could be a good client, somebody asked me earlier, so I'm circling back, if can they refer clients? My business relies on referring clients. I like it when somebody comes along with a backstory. So, yeah, I love referrals and I give very hefty referral fees if there's a big if there, if I decide to work with these guys. And I am very, very picky. All right. So I've been at this almost an hour, but you guys are so awesome and you've got a lot of questions. So I love it. I'm going to stick around for a bit, but I got a lot of stuff in Koji. So check it out if you want to connect with me. That is not true. You do not have any messages on Bumble that you cannot view that matter. That's just them tricking you. Okay? You should get my book. Where's my book? Get my book, The Great Manhunt. It's on Amazon. I literally lay out the whole strategy and formula you need, and I talk specifically about Bumble. You do not need a paid membership on Bumble. All right? You do not. You need to just go on. Free swiping, wait for men to extend the time. Men will pop up in your messages. All of that is free. Okay? So do not let them trick you, all right? And if you need more help, just book a love consultation with me. Book a love consultation. I'll look at your dating stuff. We'll talk about it. I'll help you out more. All right? Is 24 years old too young for your services? No, not necessarily. I mean, my youngest client is 20. My youngest client is 26 now. And then my next youngest client is 29, and then 34, and then it goes up. So I happen to have some younger guys right now. They're just super wealthy, super private, super advanced for their age, and they don't really want to be set up in their social circle because it could be awkward if they're not attracted to the woman, and then they have to go back to their friends and say, not hot enough for me. So, and they're private. They don't do the dating apps. They go to private events. They go to private parties. They're very underground in their world, but they're cute and amazing. So yeah, I got some younger guys right now. How do you know if someone is love bombing you? I feel like things are moving fast. Okay. So if things are moving too fast, again, you need to tell them, hey, I like you, but I feel like things are moving fast. For me, I just want to take some time to get to know you in at a more slower pace. You know, here's the thing. If somebody does genuinely like you and care about you, they're going to hear what you're saying and they're going to recalibrate what they're doing. If it's all about them, and I think when people are love bombing, it is all about them, then they're not going to hear your boundaries. They're not going to hear you say, hey, this is moving too fast. They're going to ignore it and they're going to keep doing it. And that is your sign. That is your sign. That's all you need to know. Because anytime you tell somebody how you feel about something and they're not respecting it and they're not acting accordingly, then it's time to just cut it off, because they're either trying to manipulate you, control you, and it's at that point, it's not even about you. They're not listening. It's about them. All right? So there you go. That's how I feel about that. Put my glasses back on. Can females sign up to be considered for your clients? Well, yeah, that's what it is. So if you go to my website, ginahendrix.com/women, you have two options. You have a basic inquiry, which does not put you in my database. Okay. It just is like a way to say, hi, Gina, it's me. And then there's a premium profile that I do charge for, because you get to fill out the premium profile. You are always there in my database. So whether I have clients now or whether they come along in 2 months from now, I lean on my database. But the bigger part of why I charge the fee is because I actually get on a Zoom with you for 40 minutes and I look at your profile and I tell you how to ramp it up. And I've never seen a profile that didn't need some sort of improving. And then I also even take a peek at your dating stuff, your dating profiles, if you have those too. I go through your photos. I show you which one are your better photos. I show you how to crop it in. So this is why I charge, but I do advise, the premium profile is worth it. And I'm never going to have anybody fill out a premium profile without me doing the follow-up and giving you my hands-on help. So you get me on a Zoom with you to help you. All right. Olivia, is it a red flag that he asks me where I want to go rather than plan a date? Olivia, I'm so glad you asked this question. No, it's not necessarily a red flag at all. And so many women want to read into it as if it's a red flag. Again, because we're so trying to slap labels on people so quickly. No, it does not mean. All it means is that he's asking where you want to go. That's all. And you know what? With men, it's as simple as that. So I would rather a man ask me where I want to go rather than choose a place that he knows he likes and isn't even considerate of, do I even like that kind of food? You know what I mean? So yeah, I'd way rather a guy ask than, because he's being thoughtful. I like it. I mean, when I'm coordinating dates, the way we do it is I always ask the woman, hey, do you have a place that you love? Because if you have a favorite restaurant, we want to take you there. My guy wants to take you there, And if you don't, then we will pick. I think it's considerate. I like doing that. How to start a conversation on Bumble. So you, Melody, you're a girl. You're a lady. On Bumble, I would say, I tell my ladies, because again, I want to see these guys coming in hot, right? And if your profile is elevated to the way it needs to be, and most profiles aren't, this is why the guys come in and they're limping along, because they're not hot for you out of the gate. They're not hot for you because your profile's not elevated. Almost always that's why. And you might think it is, but I promise you, I don't think it is. And I promise you, they don't think it is, especially if you tell me they're not putting effort in the conversation. So if your profile is elevated, like it should be, then these guys should be coming in hot, which means on Bumble after he has extended the time, because you are only talking to those men who have extended the time, not just matched with you. Matching doesn't matter. A lot of times they're watching TV and they're swiping and they're not paying attention. But the ones who've extended the time, to me, that's a hotter lead. And then you should just be able to crack the door open on that hot lead and say, hey, John, I'm so glad that you extended the time. It's nice to meet you. Something that simple. And John should come in hot. Now, they don't always. I don't know why. But I'd give him 2 chances. If he says, oh, hi, back and just hi, such low level, I would let the hi sit there and not do anything with it. And hopefully John will get a clue that he needs to step up his game. And guess what? If he's genuinely interested in you and you don't respond to his low-level hi, and he's interested in you, John will step up his game, all right? And if he doesn't, keep moving forward, all right? All right. Oh, it's 7 o'clock. All right. I will take 3 more questions, and then I'm going to wrap it up, all right? And then I just want to remind you guys, for men, men only can book a free strategy call with me right now. Oh, thanks, Melody, for the extra love. I love it. Don't forget, like, follow, share, all that jazz. If you want more, like a love consultation with me, or you fill out a profile for me for my database, or if a man, you want a free love strategy call, which I'm offering right now for men, limited time, Koji link is your friend. The Koji link in my bio has everything. Will give you every way possible I can help you. Okay? I'll take 3 questions and I'm wrapping it up. Susie. I'm answering Susie's question because she told me her name. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. Tell me your name. Tell me your question. All right, Susie. How late at night should we be responding to messages in the apps? Well, that's a really good question. I mean, I think I would wait till the next day. Because I think nighttime, and the later it gets, the more potential it could be for it to go south for a number of reasons. Somebody could be at home drinking wine or drinking whatever they're drinking. And I just think the later it is for messaging, the more potential it could be for not the most eloquent above ground messages. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I would wait. I would do swiping at night. If you want to swipe, do that. But messaging, the strategy that I like when I'm helping my ladies and giving advice, I like the mornings when you're having your morning coffee. This is the time, fresh in the morning, to message. And then that way it gives them the whole day to get back to you. And then, I had a girl today I was talking to, actually, and it really sucked. And I don't fully remember exactly what this guy said, but she met him and he messaged her later at night. And she's like, Gina, what do I say, like, when they message me late at night? Like, I give them my phone number and then they message me late at night. And I said, well, I always tell everybody, because it's true, for me anyway, my phone automatically shuts itself off at 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock at night, Gina's underground. You will not be able to reach her, okay? So anybody, when I'm giving them my number, I always let them know, hey, listen, come 8 o'clock, my phone automatically shuts itself off, and I am off the grid until the morning. So I think you could tell people the same thing. Now, in her case, and what was shitty, I'm about to tell you, is this one guy, he sent her a message late at night. Is that how that worked? And she was like, he was like trying to get together, like right away, like the same night. Okay. She met him out. Then he texted her right away. And he's like, hey, you want to meet up? Like, all right away. And she was like, no. She said, I want a planned date. I want somebody to make a plan with me, not right away, not whatever. She kind of put him in check, right? And she seemed like a nice person. I don't think she was being bitchy. I think she was just, telling him what she needed and wanted. And do you know what this asshole said? He said, you know that your forehead is way too big for me to make an advanced plan with you. And do you know what my ex-girlfriend looked like? And he sent her a picture of his ex-girlfriend and said, you're lucky I'm asking you out at all. Okay. So guys are just assholes sometimes. There's a lot of really great guys, but there's a lot of assholes. And so if they're trying to ask you out right away, if they're trying to coordinate plans without any advanced planning, it's like, don't be surprised when they turn around and say something shitty like that guy did. But I think in terms of messaging, I think it's always a safer play to have messages happen earlier in the day. That's my advice on that. 2 more questions, and then Gina's wrapping it up. She did dodge a bullet. I totally agree. I know, shitty. Okay, Mila, I matched with 4 guys I gotta put my glasses back on. I matched with 4 guys I really like, chatting with all. Is it wrong? I don't want to rely only on one. Okay, Mila, I'm gonna give you the scoop here. Here's how you work this. I think 4 guys in the queue at one time should be your max. And I think what you do is you want to pre-qualify very quickly. So you don't let these messages ever, and this is for men, for women, you do not let these messages go on past 4 messages. 4 messages. If it's a good vibe, and if it's not a good vibe, why the hell are you even talking to him? But 4 good vibe messages where you're not the one resuscitating and keeping the conversation going. He's actually acting interested and asking you questions, and it's a back and forth. 4 of those kind of messages, a call is coordinated. And you say, hey, listen, by the way, I'm actually not on the apps that much. I'd really prefer to get to know you a little better on a call. What do you think? And you kind of put it back like that to him, because I want him to come back to you and say, he's going to say, sure, I'd love to get on a call. And he'll give you his number, probably. This is how it usually rolls out. But then you'll come back and say, well, actually, here's my number. Let me know when I can expect your call. Something like that. A call needs to be coordinated. And then you're going to be able to pre-qualify these 4 guys really quickly, because all 4 may not call. It might be only 1 or 2 that's willing to step up to the plate. And then you're on to the next, right? And then on the call, I'm also going to talk about the call real quick, and then I'll take my last question. Thank you. Share, follow, hearts, rainbows, flowers, whatever. Haley wants me to remind everybody, give me the love. Thank you. On the call, when you get them on the call, this is your opportunity to get clarification on anything that you find you run into. So whether you're a tall lady and you end up finding out mostly that the guys end up not being as tall as they say, or whether you find out you've dated so many guys and they weren't actually single, or it's like, I find that a lot of us have the same issues that show up for us specifically time and time again. So whatever it is that usually shows up for you, when you're on that call, this is where you want to really pre-qualify and you want to get clarification. And you'd say something like, oh yeah, how's I would say, I always do this. So how's Bumble treating you? How's Hinge treating you? And you get them to kind of talk about their experience of what they've experienced. And then you go in, your turn, and then you say, oh, well, for me, it's like I find that so many guys keep telling me, they're 6 feet tall, and, I'm 5'10", and when I wear heels, I'm 6'2", and they're never as tall as they say they are, and wait for his response, okay? And you do this, the rinse and repeat. You do this the same way, depending on what your thing is. I find that, all these men I meet lately, they're using pictures that aren't even accurate. They don't look like their pictures, and it's really frustrating. And then pause. What is he going to say to that, And so get clarification. If a guy tells you, if you find out, if you've been running into men who are never seem to be legally divorced, then that's your question on the phone. Like, oh, yeah, you're divorced, huh? So how long have you actually been legally divorced? When was it finalized? Finalized. You use these words, right? And then at the end of the call, a date should be coordinated. You're not there to be phone friends, okay? You're not there for him to say, all right, well, I'll call you again sometime. Oh, no. If he says that, just say, hey, well, you know what? I'm not really looking for phone friends. If I think, probably our next move, if you're still interested, okay? If you're still interested. If you're not interested, then if he says, I'll call you again, just say, you know what? You seem nice. It's been good talking to you, but I don't think this is a match. Just be honest. But if you do like him still, and for some reason he's not making a plan, then you want to say, and guys, flip it for you. If guys are on here, you just flip the scenario. You want to lock her down for a plan, okay? So as a woman, you would say, I'll call you again sometime. You go, no. I'm not looking for phone friends. I think, you seem cool. I think maybe, we should probably get together. What do you think? Do it again, like I said about the phone call. You throw it back to him. What do you think? And then you see what he says, and hopefully you lock in a plan. Okay? This is how you pre-qualify these people quickly so you can move on and you don't get caught up in all this messaging, all this texting for weeks and la, la, la. It should roll out really quickly. All right? And then you're getting out on dates faster. I'm going to take my last question here. And if I missed your questions, I apologize. I really do. I try to get to everything. So the next question I lay my eyes on is the one is gonna be my last question of the night. What is it gonna be? Olivia, a month into dating, he asked to take me on a trip out of the country. Too soon? No, not necessarily too soon. It's your comfort level. I think it depends on what types of dates have you had in that month. How well do you think you've gotten to know him in that month? And then last but not least, I think that you should make sure that you're getting your own room and that you make it clear that, you want your own room. Now, I don't know if you've slept together or not, right? I'm assuming you haven't. If you haven't, then you want to say, sure, I'd love to go to Italy with you, whatever. But I would prefer to have my own room. And it's important on a number of levels, because as a woman, we can always say, like, I don't want to change in front of you yet. I don't want you to I don't want to wake up with you first thing in the morning. I want to get to know. But, just express your boundaries and hopefully he's going to listen, But if you feel comfortable with him, if you feel you've gotten to know him, and, I think only you can really determine if it's right. But my official answer is it's not necessarily too soon. If you've gone out a number of times and you feel like you've really gotten to know him. If you've only gone out like twice, going out of the country, might be a little dicey, because out of the country, you could say, hey, what about what about just more of a local weekend getaway? You could throw that out. All right. Okay, guys, 7-11. I love those lucky numbers. All right, I'm going to wrap it up on that. So thanks you guys so much. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Oh, I would love one thing before I go. Do you like that I do these Wednesday nights at this time? Do you think a weekend during the day is better? I did want to ask you guys that. Weekend during the day, what's better? When would you prefer me to do my lives? I'm going to sit here for a minute. Tell me, just throw it out. Say this time or say whatever would be good. I'm going to sit here for a minute. This is perfect. You like it now? Is that what we were saying? This is the perfect time. Wednesdays are good. All the days, all the time. Weeknight. Okay, cool. I was just checking to see. All right, checking in with you. Checking in. Because Wednesdays are good for me. I was thinking like Saturday mornings. But then I was like, well, what if I want to take the dogs to the beach on a Saturday morning and I'm committed? Okay, so we like this time. Good. All right, guys. Thank you for confirming that. I'll see you here next Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon. And don't forget, use that Koji link above. And any other help you need from me, you'll get it right there. Okay, see you later. Have a beautiful night. Thanks, guys.